NIO, a Chinese EV manufacturer, is scheduled to report its 2018 annual earnings and also their Q4 earnings next Tuesday, March 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, and 8 a.m. March 6th, Shanghai and Hong Kong time. Some of the metrics to pay attention to in the earnings report are the number of cars delivered, the gross margin, the interest level of the ES6, and the backlog of the ES8. Now let's go take a look at the technical analysis of NIO and see where are some of the level for us to keep an eye on. Let's take a look at the price action of NIO and also the technical analysis that I have performed on it and see where the stock price might be headed after it reports its earnings this coming Tuesday. Just do a quick recap. Looking at the price here, the NIO came IPO on September the 12th, and it opened at 6, went as low as 535 and as high as 693 and closed at 660. 2 days later, it reached a post-IPO high of 1380, and then ever since that day, it just retraced all the way back down to the low of 561. But since the October timeframe, it's basically been trading within this trading range of between $6 and $8 level until recently is broken out of this trading band and move up to the 1050, the 950, 1050 area here. So right now we're basically looking at the possibility of this price might continue to move up because there is a catalyst of earning coming due next Tuesday, like I said earlier, and the option market is basically pricing in the price to move plus or minus 28%. Or plus or minus $2.85, and based on the current price or the last closing price on Friday, that puts it up at the possibility of moving up to $12.89 or moving down to $7.21 after it posts its earnings on Tuesday. So let's go and take a look at some other technical analysis and see how realistic these price level could be and what is the possibility of it going to hit the upper level or the lower level. First of all, I'm going to put up the volume profile. And here's the volume profile, and for those that are not familiar with the volume profile, let me just get a brief explanation. I'm not going to go to a tutorial or an in-depth definition of the volume profile and how to use it, but essentially the volume profile is a histogram. It's plotting the amount of volume that it has been traded for a particular price level. And in this blue area here, this is the representation of the 70% of the volume have been traded within this price range. This area is what we call the value area. And here on this line here, this magenta line, this is the what we call the point of control. That is the price level where the highest volume have been traded. As you can see that it moved above this value area the day after the 60-minute episode where we interview William Lee, the CEO of NIO, and talk about his company and his vision and his assessment of the EV car market in China. Then ever since then, it basically came up and traded as high as above the 1050 area, and right now it's sort of consolidating between the 950 and 1050 price level. And you see that based on last week's price action, it is forming a small value area here between the 950 and 1050. The other things I want to highlight is the Fibonacci retracement since the IPO and the current level here. As you can see that from this this IPO high to the IPO low, there is this retracement level, the 38.2 and 61.8. You see that the price is moving inside of this, sitting inside of this retracement level, and also currently is trading above the 50% level. So if the price move above this 618, then there's a good chance that it could come up to this 100% level. But also the other thing is, if it come back down and dip below the 38.2, then it could also has a possibility to come back down and retrace and possibly retest these lower level down here on the Fibonacci retracement. And here's the range where I put in based on what the market is pricing in for the price to move after earning. So it's like the high is 1289 and the low is 722. Let me put on the composite here. The composite also show that there are a lot of these what we call the HVN, high volume node. Those are the price level where there is a lot of traded volume has taken place, and those levels typically could represent some sort of intermediate support level or resistance level. Doesn't necessarily mean say that it has to bounce at that level. It's just that those are the levels that we'll keep an eye on when price come to. I'm gonna look at the open interest for NIO that expire on March 15, 2019. The green line represents the open interest for the calls, and the red line represents the open interest for the put. You can see on the 10 strike, there's about approximately pretty much the same amount of open interest for the put and the call. And for the call, the highest level of open interest is at the 8 strike, and for the put is the 10 strike. Now here what I did is I have put up the break-even level for a iron condor that I'm going to describe a little bit later, and also the expected move for the post-earning, where the option market is pricing an expected move to be somewhere on the upside at 1289 and the downside of 721, as we have saw on the price chart earlier. Okay, so the iron condor is essentially going to sell the 10 put and the 10 call, and then buy the 14 call and the 6 put. So basically setting up a put spread, you know, the 10 and 6 put spread, but we're going to sell that, and also the 10 and the 14 call spread, and we're going to sell that. So you're basically collecting a credit of 220, and the maximum loss that you could get hit is 180. Essentially the maximum loss is if the price move above $14, because you have a call strike of 14 minus 1220 is 180, so that would be the maximum loss. On the downside, your maximum loss on the downside, if it go below 6, if the price does move beyond the expected move on a post earning, then you will incur a loss. Anywhere within this 780 and 1220, you will be profitable on the iron condor, and the maximum profit will be if it expire at the 10 level. I do not have this iron condor position on, and this trade is purely hypothetical, and make sure you understand the risks. And this description of this trade is purely for information and educational purposes. It's neither an investment advice or investment recommendation. I hope you found this video to be informative and useful. If you do, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, click on the subscribe button and subscribe, and be sure to click on that bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and good luck.